So it's just over the middle of the year, and I want to talk about some of the books I have got to and hopefully hype them up a little bit so that way you sort of can read them. We're also going to talk about some of the books I've really not enjoyed and just some favorite characters and that sort of stuff, and what books I want to get to throughout the rest of the year because, well, that's what everyone else seems to be doing right now, and it sounds fun to do. I've read 50 odd books this year, so it's quite a decent amount, and well, my favourite ones have been these. This one actually is my latest read, and I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't really expect to enjoy it this much. It's called Hermit, it's by Chris McQueer, and for some reason, just the idea of following this 19-year-old really skinny guy who's scared to go outside, just is constantly online, and trying to figure out what to do with his life. He wants to be at home, playing games, talk to his mate online, and then for some reason, his mate gets this idea to go and see this other friend down in London who is trying to find other guys to do some bad things for him. And it's kind of a wild adventure, especially when you kind of see the mother's aspect from this as well. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. I rated it 4.5 stars, and it's a read that I think most people should get into. Another one of my favourite reads of the year so far has been Strange Buildings. This series as a whole is fantastic. The way that you're able to sit there, might want to take notes and try and figure out each little thing that's happening, if it's buildings, houses, or pictures, and you just kind of want to figure it all out yourself. But then as you're reading, you kind of see little hints that are coming here, there, and everywhere, and it kind of makes more sense the more you're going on, even though at the beginning you are totally confused. But for some reason, this series as a whole just seems to hit something different in my mind, and the fact that you're able to work it all out yourself, and you kind of get to see the end result. I loved it, and well, apparently there's a manga out about it now, and I'm going to pick it up soon because I want to know more about this. The Last Contract of Isako. I absolutely couldn't wait to read this because it's written by Fonda, and the Jade City series has become one of my all-time favorite fantasy series. So to get anything else by Fonda was an instant, I need this, please give me this, I'll do whatever I need to. And thankfully I got an arc where I was able to read it quite quickly, and it is perfect. I absolutely loved everything about this book, from the main character to the fight scenes. The fact that the fight scenes are all up close and personal instead of just being a few guns. It just, I don't know what it did, but it just seemed to click something differently in my brain because it just seemed to all work out perfectly. And well, I rate this 5 stars. I don't really rate books 5 stars that often. So if you haven't yet, you're going to want to pick this up as soon as you can. Another one of my favorite reads of the year has been Blood of a Bright Haven. The only reason I picked this book at all is because it was written by M.L. Wang. And well, I fucking love Sword of Kaigen. I think it was one of the best books ever written. It's up there in my top 5 of all time for me already. And I really feel like I'm going to be rereading it at some point this year because I just need to get that back in my life. So I picked up Blood of a Bright Haven, and for some reason, this one hit just as good as well. Even though, yes, it's not about samurais, but the whole magic aspect of how the whole world works, I really enjoyed that. And the main character does a great job in putting the whole story together. And you kind of want to know more about what she's doing and how she's going to figure out this world and what she wants to do with it and all that sort of fun stuff. And yeah, Emma Wank, to me, can do no wrong. I rate this 5 stars as well. So yeah. This year, so far, there's been a few books that I've really not enjoyed, and I don't like the DNF books. I don't know why, just for me, it doesn't feel right. So I'll try and power through and get through it eventually. And one of the worst ones I have ever read in my life has been Into the Miso Soup. Not because of a dark scene or anything like that. It's just because it's poorly written. Like, you get a dark scene, yes, and it is a bit wild, but that doesn't really add anything to the story. The whole story is just about this one boring fucking character who, in actual fact, just needs a slap because nothing he does or anything has any real point to it. And the fact that you're reading about this annoying ass character for 100 and odd pages and nothing redeeming happens to make you want to continue with the story, no matter which way you try and pull it, it just makes it for a fucking struggle. I've never struggled so hard to read 180 pages in my life, but for some reason, this did. I rated it 1.5 stars. It's just is not good. I'm not a big fan of Alice in Wonderland in general, but to hear that it was quite like being able to make it into a horror, that kind of interests me just a little bit. So I read Alice by Christian Henry and never been more disappointed ever. This to me was just so shit. Like, I don't understand how you can make something that's already horror-like in Alice in Wonderland and fail. Like, it just doesn't make sense anything about how badly this book is written. Some people really enjoy it, and I kind of understand where they're coming from if they're obsessed with that sort of world. But for me, as someone who's just an average reader of Alice in Wonderland, I think this is dog shit. Absolute dog shit. They're trying to just make Alice in Wonderland into a mafia, and it just doesn't work. And I hated every aspect of this. I feel like anyone who's said anything remotely nice, it just hasn't read the same book as me, and I feel like I'm missing something here. While yes, Alice and In the Miso Soup were some horrible reads, this is probably my most disappointing read of the year. and it's the unworthy. And the reason why this is my most disappointing reading of the year is because I absolutely love Tender is the Flesh. I think it's a fantastic book, and I talk about it all the time and try and recommend it to friends. So when the author writes another book, and I'm like, shit, let's go. Hopefully it's up to somewhat of the same standard, and it's awful, completely awful. You spend a lot of your time reading this book thinking, what am I reading? Why am I reading? There's nothing really happening here, it's just the same thing again and again and again. And then it ends and nothing really happens. And you're confused the whole time because there's not really any plot development either. You get hit bits here and there, don't get me wrong. But like, it's not just me who thinks this either. This book is rated like below 4 stars on Goodreads, which when Ten of the Flesh is rated so highly, is a bit of a letdown. And I just don't understand like what happened here compared to Tender of the Flesh, and I'm really disappointed. So let's talk about some books that I'm actually excited to read this year. I want to get to, and hopefully I'm going to rate 5 stars. First one being An Arcane Study of Stars. Do I know anything about this book? No, all I know is I got sent it, and it's about dark academia, which is up there with the top 3 like genres for me. And I can't wait to get into this and see what everything's going to be about. And well, I'm hoping for good things. This is a book that everyone has been raving about recently, and I picked it up recently because I need to see what the hype is all about. The Buffalo Hunter. Yeah, I just want to know what the hype is about. I've heard it's fantastic. I heard it's written amazingly. And unfortunately for me, I've not read anything by Stephen Graham Jones yet. And I feel like I'm missing out. So I picked it up. Hopefully it's going to be good. If not, I'm going to be fuming. But still, wish me luck. One book that I feel like I'm really behind with already, even though there's only book 2 has recently come out, is The Will of the Many. For some reason, I've never picked this up. I don't know why. I've had it since the day it was released, but just has sat on my shelf for the whole time. To be fair, I kind of do know the reason why I've not quite read it yet. It's because the font size is so small. I feel like I'm not going to do that to my eyes because I'll end up getting a headache, and I just feel like I'm going to have to get it on Kindle. I don't want to buy it for full price on Kindle when I've already got it for full price on book. I'm kind of waiting for it to go on sale, which has not happened yet. And if it has, I've missed it, which is really annoying. But yeah, shame, but I can't wait to read it. I've heard nothing but good things. Apparently, the second one's just isn't as good as the first one, from what I'm understanding online. But we shall see. We shall see. Finally, I was recently given an arc by an author whose series I absolutely enjoyed. Yes, it might be YA, which is a bit strange for me, but I can't say no to when Anne Lee soon asks me if I want to read this book. Well, I've got Between Ghosts and Gods, the newest released by her, and I can't wait to get into it. It releases next month, so I need to get into it ASAP. But yeah, I'm hoping for good things. Ghosts and Gods mixing together sounds fucking cool. So yeah, can't wait for this. So to me, that was my ups, my downs, and my next ups. And I can't wait to see what this year's got to be with books. And I'm hoping for some good fucking things. But let me know what your favourite books of the year have been so far down below. And I will reply, and hopefully I'll pick them up and add them to my TBR as well. Anyway, see you next time.